Make your dreams into a reality. That's what you need to do to live that life that you want to live, right? You have that dream. You may have multiple dreams. A lot of people do, and I'm sure you do too. So you just got to ask yourself, what is your dream? What is something that you've always wanted to obtain, but you just don't have it right now? So for many of you, or for you, it may be health. You want better health, better body. You want to look better. You want to feel your best, right? Maybe it's financial. Maybe it's a clearer mind, more positive thinking. You don't want to feel so anxious all the time. And ultimately, you got to ask yourself, what is separating your dreams from your reality, right? You can hear the quote all the time, make your dreams into reality, but how do you do that? And there's only one answer for it. And I'm going to let you guess before I give you the answer. Action. That is literally it. It's just simply action. And most people don't even want to do that. It doesn't matter what your dream is. It could be financial, health, or mental. But how do you change? Through action. If you don't have action, you won't have change. It's a simple fact. Like, at least change within to make your dreams a reality. That's what I'm talking about. Change in that sense. So, like, obviously, yes, things can naturally change without you even trying or taking action. I'm not going to give you an exact example, but I'm sure there's somewhere in some time where change just kind of naturally happened and nobody even noticed it. They didn't try, they didn't take action, it just happened. Aging would be an example, right? You can't do much about it. You just age naturally. It's not that you change directly. You change kind of indirectly, right? But I'm kind of rambling at this point, but you get my point though. The difference, the thing that's separating your dreams, right, from the reality that you're living right now is action. So if you want better finances, how do you make more money? Through action. If you don't ever take action, you're never going to make more money. You just can't. Unless you get like lucky, but no matter, even if maybe you won the jackpot of lottery, it doesn't matter. Some action was made to make that outcome happen, right? So for that would happen. And then for like health or fitness or whatever, what do you have to do to make your dreams a reality? Let's say you're overweight, let's say you're underweight, or maybe you just simply don't have the body you want. Well, what's going to happen to get or obtain that thing, right? Or that body that you've always wanted? Action. Go to the gym more often. Play a sport that you really like throughout your day. Like maybe you have free time and instead of sitting on your ass and looking at your phone the whole day or watching TV or something of that sense, maybe you get up, go play a sport you really like, and you'll see changes through that. Why? Because you took action. So your body's it's adapting to its environment, right? So when you're always being active, you're putting your body in a different environment to where all you're doing is sitting down. So this is going to make that change for that dream to become a reality. So that would be what my advice would be for that, like diet, all that stuff. Each topic has its own set of specifics. But for health and fitness, yeah, dieting, fitness, like working out, playing a sport, being active is going to help a lot. Your body's going to adapt to its environment. When you place it in an active environment, it's going to adapt for that. What does it need to sustain or live throughout the environment you're putting it in? If all you do is sit down, that's why you see the people that are severely underweight or severely overweight, or they're just average looking. And if that's not what you want, then you got to put yourself in an environment that's going to change that. So going to the gym, playing a sport, running, walking, moving, your body's going to adapt. And then with like mental clarity, like I'm no like doctor. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything. I don't. But generally just like, for me, I mentioned this before. If your problem is negative thinking or a lot of fear or doubt, the answer's gonna be different for everybody because everybody's got their own brain. Everybody's got a different way of how they work things. And for me, what helped me a lot is through bad times, just focusing on the positives. Is honestly, it sounds like cliche, and I know you're probably like, well, that's bullshit, but just actually try it. When you do go through a negative time, focus on the positives. When I had friends where I had many good times with them, I really did. Some of the friends I had turned their back on me. And instead of focusing on that part, I focused on the part where I actually just genuinely had fun with them. And I never can take that away, right? As much as they did hurt, it hurt that they backstabbed me. It hurt that they walked away from me. It hurt that I tried to be the best friend I possibly could, and I guess I wasn't good enough. I do enjoy the good times. I really do. That's something I'll never want to take away. So when you get put in this kind of situation, you just got to focus on the positives, man. You can't really dwell too much on the negatives. Like, obviously, you're going to think about the negatives. Realistically, everybody will. But you got to focus on the positives. And that's going to get you way further in life than sitting there dwelling on every little negative thing that they did to you. I mean, the truth is, everybody's going to go through hurt at some point. It's just, relationships don't work out. Friendships don't work out. Maybe even family relationships don't work out. Like, your mom or your dad, maybe you lose connection with them, you know, and that's how it is for some people. But I guess it just depends on what's your mental problem. Like, are you super sad all the time? Are you super just frustrated? Or are you super just lost? It just depends on what your problem is. But either way, though, you got to take some type of difference, some type of change, some type of action to change the way that you're thinking, to make your brain clearer. You know, some people experience this through meditation. Some people pray. Some people do both, you know. What makes your mind at ease? And sometimes it falls in to other categories like fitness, finance. Like, some people might get so lost in business that makes them happy. So them building up their business builds up their mental stuff too. Or them going to the gym builds up their mental stuff too. Or all of it together builds everything up, right? And it all kind of works in its own way. And that's also good. You're getting like a 3 times deal out of that, right? You work out, you take care of your body. That helps clear up your mind. So that clears up this side, right? It clears up the mental side of your life. And then as that's clean and clear, that gets you ready for the business part, where your mind needs to be clear. You need to be able to think of ideas, and you need to be able to think of, well, how do I market this? How do I advertise this? How do I sell this? What skill do I need to sell this product? What person do I have to contact or get a hold of to get them to buy my product or service, right? Things like this. And it kind of does all work together, really. It does, because when you work out, you feel better about yourself. You feel more confident. You can look in the mirror and be like, you know what, I'm the shit, you know, and be happy about yourself, instead of being like, oh man, I look like shit, now I don't want to do anything today. Now it's the opposite. So that builds into the mental. Your mental's cleared now because you're happy about yourself. And that leads into the business part or the finance part of, okay, I'm going to put extra hard work into this thing so now I can make more money. And then it all works together. And then all your goals come together and they form one bigger goal in its own, right? So it's just to have a better life, a more complete life, more fulfilling, more purposeful, whatever it is. But honestly, like little things, like I can give you an example of what I started doing. Like, instead of sitting on my ass and watching TikToks all day and watching YouTube videos all day, and I'll be honest, some of them do actually help. Consuming content actually does help. It just depends on what kind of content you're consuming. So if you're sitting there watching just brainless TikToks and it's not really doing much for you, that's the type of content I'm talking about. But if you're talking about content that's genuinely like helping you learn things that you want to learn or help you towards your goals, then there's nothing wrong with taking time out of your day to watch that kind of thing. At least I don't think so. But I kind of mix a little bit of that. And then honestly, like, reading for me, like, I started reading. I can show you some of the books I got. Like, I got this one. It's called The Greatest Salesman in the World. This kind of helps a lot. The Way of the Superior Man. This is a pretty good one. I just got these. I'm reading this one right now. It's called The Power of Now, which mental helps you focus on the present moment, you know, all that. Think and Grow Rich. Everybody's heard of this. I've never read it. I want to, so that's why I got it. And this one is kind of a unique one. I don't know if many of you even heard of it, but I'm just turned 18, so I'm thinking about getting a credit card and learning about credit, right? So this book is about credit score. So how to build it, how to, you know, stay in the upper hands of the credit, or whatever you want to call it, right? You get my point, to keep a high credit score. So reading for me has helped me retain a lot of information, helps me keep me focused. And I never really did like reading, I'll be honest. And I can never forget about this one. The most important one of them all that I should read so much more often, and I don't, and I wish I did, is none other than the Bible. So, it just depends on what are your goals, and then take books and read to your goals. If your goal is to be a doctor, there's probably thousands of books out there from super high-end doctors, professionals that you can learn so much from. To me, books are kind of like years of experience from somebody who knows more than me into just a bunch of pages. That's what it is. They've either studied a certain topic long enough, so to me, they either studied something so long they know a lot about it, more than I do, and I can learn from them, or they've had the experience in that certain field or whatever. So if I want to learn about business, then maybe I'll buy a book from somebody who's owned a business. If I want to learn about sales or marketing, I'm going to learn from somebody who's been a salesman or marketing or whatever. If I want to learn about mental state, I'm going to learn from somebody who's into the whole spiritual thing. And yeah, so you're learning from people that are better than you, essentially. Like, that's the way. So obviously, I think it's better to be in direct contact with people that know better than you or know more than you. But the truth is, not everybody has those connections. But what you can do is get a book of some sort. Any book. Just figure out what you want to learn about and go from there. And I think you really will find just a difference in your life. Like, when you realize that your habits do actually play a big role in the trajectory of your life, then you'll start taking them more seriously. And then you'll also feel better. Like, when you go from watching movies all day to working out. When you go from working out and instead of going on your phone scrolling, you then go into reading. Or maybe you want to become a creator of content, and go for it. I say do it. I mean, I started in January and I was not consistent whatsoever. My videos get like 1 view, 2 views, 3 views. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a celebrity. I'm really not. I'm still on the very, very low end of YouTube. But it just shows that when you do stay consistent, you do see growth. Like, I was expecting, by the time of like next week, if you asked me like a month ago, I was expecting to maybe have 50 subs, like maybe 50 subscribers, maybe a little less than that. But I actually doubled my expectations. I'm almost at 100. I surprised myself. And most people in their eyes are like, oh, 90 subscribers, who gives a shit? I mean, but to me, it's like, wow, 92 people actually care about what I have to say, and they like the videos. So I'm going to keep making them, because more people will follow suit, more people will, like what I have to say. But you just got to understand that everything you want to change in your life, you have to take action. And whatever that is. You want to make your dreams become a reality, action is what is stopping you from doing that. So just take action on the thing you want to do and go from there. I think when you do that and you just actually understand, you get in your brain, like, everybody knows this, right? Everybody knows it. Just like when I read some of these books, like, a lot of the stuff I read, it's like stuff I already knew. But when it gets put in your face and it's like, no, this is actually the answer, and you get that into your head and you get it ingrained into your head, and you start doing it, you start taking action, then you start seeing differences in your life. Like, if you want to become a content creator, how the hell are you going to do that if you don't create content? It doesn't make any sense. How do you expect to grow a following if you don't try? How do you expect to grow a following if you don't take action? How do you expect to get smarter if you don't take action on what you want to learn? How do you expect to get better at something if you don't take action on what to get better at? That's what is separating you from your dreams. And then after you take action, then it just comes down to consistency and effort. You took action. Now, how long and how hard are you willing to try with this action that you have started doing with this thing? And that's where the growth comes in, right? That's when the growth will start hitting you, and then you'll start seeing a better trajectory in your life. So go from there. Just understand that what's separating your dreams from reality is action. And once you figure that out, I think you're gonna have a good life. And other than that, life is too short to make a change.